Hello and welcome back to Moonlight Museum and of course 2 Point Museum. Where we last left off, we got this section of the museum all complete, but we still need to get all of these exhibits and all of these ghosts into this brand new layout for the final episode of this series. Some of you were probably expecting Schedule 1 today, and so was I. Unfortunately, I recorded for 2 hours straight, and I was recording a black screen because I forgot to change my OBS scene. So that's unfortunate. That series is now on an indefinite hold because of the way that the game handles saves. There's no way for me to go back and re-record that episode. Very, very unfortunate situation, but you know, it is what it is. We will be starting up Rimworld right after this series, so please do let me know in the comments below if you're excited for that series. And if you would like to be a part of our colony, make sure to become a Golden Panda member. But without further ado, let's start getting into this. I think the first thing that I want to do is figure out where I want these 6 ghost rooms to be. Because, I mean, honestly, this makes the most sense as to where they might end up living. And then we just need to figure out where we want to put all of these sort of things. This is probably going to be some kind of a gift shop. So really, we're just working with this space up here. So let's jump into a time lapse as I figure out where I want these rooms to be. We've got 2 solo rooms, 2 with 2, 1 with 3, and 1 with 5. So we'll keep that in mind as we are designing this. Right, so this is the kind of layout I'm thinking about for our ghost rooms. Now, the back section is going to be staff only, and there probably won't be much in terms of decorations and things in there at all. So our guests will only be able to access these from the front, which I kind of like. And then this sort of leads us into a nice little path that will eventually lead into the gift shop. They will have to go through the gift shop to get out. That is going to be the plan. We also added another little bathroom over here just because this one's going to be a little bit far away after they get through our garden. So I guess the next step is to go ahead and decorate all of these ghost rooms out. Make sure we have donation bins. I'm going to set up a tour guide that visits all of these ghost rooms, and then we will go from there. Alright, our rooms are officially decorated. Let me just jump into photo mode so we can show you around. We have our froggy ghost in our nature room. We have our wizard ghost with a little bit of an older feel. We have our yeti and someone else, cave woman I think, in another little nature room over here. And then we move into our sunken room. That is looking quite good. These chairs seem to be the best fit with this table. Nothing else really works, and my vibe with the cannon was to face it sort of out a window. You can't see it from this side, but it is a window from here, so I think it kind of works. I like it. Then we've got the portholes at the back there. Then we have like a armory type room. We did have to throw in a well just to make everyone happy. And then our main room over here is split up into 3 different sections. We have sort of an armory over here, a nice little bedroom in the middle, and then a little bit of a reading nook slash lounge room with a fireplace. which I think looks quite good. I'm not 100% sure how happy these guys are. You're fine. You're fine. You're fine. You're not super fine because you want to have the pickles grater and no fire. No fire isn't going to happen, but we do have the pickles grater in here that we can throw down. This room was feeling a little bit dull anyway, so let's go ahead and throw that in somewhere. I kind of like it between the beds, but I'm not in love with it. Let's maybe just throw it there for now. And then we have the easel as well, which kind of fits in with this room's kind of vibe. We do have another music thing somewhere else, so maybe we can just replace that with the easel. This feels like the kind of room that you might do that in. And that sits right about there. Now, the only thing that's missing from this room is potentially something on the walls, because at the moment it's looking a little bit dull, and I'm feeling like these olden candles might do the trick if we throw them, I don't know, in between the bookshelves. On either side might look good. Somewhere there, and maybe like one either side of the fireplace as well. Yeah, that's looking a little bit better. And then maybe one either side of this wall art decoration thing. That sort of works. That works for me. And then the only last thing that I'm wondering is, can we replace the floor in here? No. The answer is no. So never mind. But that is all of our ghosts laid out. Next thing that I want to do is go ahead and grab myself a tour stand. And our guests ideally are going to be coming from this direction. So I feel like the best place to put it is, you know, right in the middle of where the guests are going to be walking. So they absolutely cannot avoid it. So that's going to go there. And then we are very simply going to, well, that's unfortunate. It wants to route people behind for some reason. Let's delete those and get our hanging info signs down first. Maybe that'll help fix it. Otherwise, these might not have tours because that's not going to work. Unless if we go back the other way, does it still do that? Yeah, it really wants to go at the back of these. That one's at the front. That one's at the front. That one's now at the front. That one is at the front. And then if we get rid of these two and re-add them, for some reason, I don't understand why it would want to do that. Maybe if we get rid of all of them, add this one first? No. Add this one first. Do any of these want to go to the front? No, they do not. Fantastic. All right, let's get the hanging info signs and some donation bins down, and then we'll figure out what we want to do with our tour guides, because that's clearly not going to work. All right, let's try this one more time. I have a feeling it's not going to work, and I think it's because the doors are at the back. And I really don't want to move the doors to the front, mostly because all of my decorations are towards the front. So this might just not work. We might not be able to set up tour guides on these. I mean, we could try just having it and see if it works. We've got perfect decoration, great cohesion, average quality is pristine, 1,000 total bars, which is insane, and the length is great. The length would be even better if, you know, they went around the front where they're meant to go. This doesn't work. And I don't see a way to fix it. What if we grab this and like move it? Does that fix it? Get rid of everything for a second. No, that doesn't work either. What if we switch the direction and we go for this one first? Does that fix it? Nope, they really just want to go around the back. Okay. Well, that sucks. Maybe last ditch effort to get this to work. What if I throw a wall in there and there? These are all now broken, but we go there. Nope, they still want to go around the outside. Oh, you don't. Okay. Maybe this is going to work. Let's get rid of these staff doors so that no one can get back there. Let's get rid of these because they are no longer necessary. Right? And then we can move this back to where we originally had it, which was like, I don't know, somewhere here. Grab this to a setup, go there. Perfect. That fixed it. Okay. That works great. So now we have 5 stars. Average quality is pristine. Total buzz is 1060. Decoration is perfect. Cohesion is perfect. Length is perfect. Confirm that. And then we grab our doors. Staff doors. And we throw those back in. And we... Nope. What if we just have the one staff door? Get rid of everything and we say, you go in there. Nope. Again, not going to work. Well, that's unfortunate. I thought I'd fixed it. Well, I guess maybe we're just not doing tours for these ghosts then, because having them go around the back is just not really an option. Even a little bit. I guess there's one thing we could try. If we grab ourselves a one-way door, and so you're only allowed to come out of there, and you're only allowed to come out of there. I think staff can pass through those with no problem, so that's going to sort of act like a staff door. Do you still want to go to the back? Of course you do. Of course you do. Well, I don't see a solution then. The only solution that I see is get rid of that tour guide. We're going to lose out on a little bit of money, but I mean, we're not really playing this save after this anyway. We're just kind of making it look good. So if you guys would like to pretend that we have tour guides running across here, you are more than welcome to, but unfortunately, I can't figure out a way to make it work that is functional, because the tour guides just want to send everyone straight to the back, which is not going to work even a little bit. All right, next things next. So that is all of our ghosts. We can now remove all of these rooms because they are no longer necessary. We'll get some more money back. Not that we really need it. We have like over $1 million. I did not mean to pick that up. Yeah, that's fine. Sell, please. Sell you and sell you. The only thing left to do is to get all of these into here somewhere and set up our gift shop. And that's about it. That's great. So what I'm thinking is if we grab our foundations tool and we grab the classic petition, I think I want to use. This is a certain amount of width wide. Let's grab our floors first and figure this out. So if we go there and then there, and then how do we want to get them into this? I guess we could do something like that. Force them around this way. And I think in terms of getting this set up, I want a wall that is classic petition. I do want a little bit of a walkway here for the bathroom as well. So let's go, I don't know, 2 wide for that. How wide is this? This is 3. So let's do 3 wide to there so they can still get around if they need to. And then we can have our exhibitions in the middle. Something like this. Like that, and then we can remove some sections where we want to remove some sections. Now, I don't know if this is going to be too big, but I guess we'll find out. So let's maybe keep 3 on each side and remove the rest. 1, 2, 3, something like that, so we can get in there. And then I feel like we should do the same here. Keep 1, 2, 3, get rid of those. And how far over do we want to go? Let's make this the same width-ish. Something like that. And we can do that exact same thing on the opposite side so that they can get to the bathroom if they need to. Do the same thing over here. I'm just going to sort of guessing and eyeballing how wide I want these to be. And then we can do the same thing here. Let's keep 3 and make sure they line up. They do. And then this can do the exact same. Just get rid of that whole section there. And that is going to be sort of our exhibit room, right? Now, I don't know how I'm going to funnel people into the gift shop just yet, but for now, I think I want to go ahead and get this laid out with the remaining exhibits we have left. Keep in mind too that I do still have the Seance Simulator in my inventory, and we need somewhere to put the roach burger animatronics. But we'll jump back into a quick little time lapse as I get all of these things placed in somewhat of a bedroom type situation, and we'll come back from there. I think I have everything placed kind of where I want it to be. Now, some of these sort of don't really make sense with where the front of them is, but it's how I want the things to lay. So this is kind of like my little bedroom. The TV's kind of in the middle because it doesn't really fit with anything else. We have the phone and the portrait over here, toilet and the chair, and then the haunted doll and the haunted armor thing, and then the mannequin in the middle. Now, I'm obviously going to need to redraw some of these ropes because they don't make a ton of sense, but I do like the seance simulator right there at the end. So let me go ahead and decorate this out because this definitely is not the final form, and we will go from there. All right, that's starting to come together. Now, I sort of gave up a little bit on the idea of having people have to exit through the store because the store is going here. I feel like that's pretty clear, and I feel like this needs to be a little bit wider just to make that make a little bit more sense. This also won't be a corner like that, but you know, you get the idea because this is 2, that is 2, and then our gift shop can live right in there. But before we do that, let me give you a quick little tour of what we've got going on over here. I think we've decorated this pretty nicely. I did have to go ahead and use the small donation stands. I also did not recolor them, so let me quickly do that because they work so much better if they are recolored. I'm going to fix this up real quick and we'll be back in a little bit. Alright, that is better. You are not happy because you don't have any decorations. But we'll fix that in a minute. So we have the seance stimulator over here as you come out from the garden. You then walk around, look at all the ghosts, then you can come straight through here with the rest of our exhibits. That is now officially every exhibit placed, and I think this museum is looking absolutely fantastic. I'm going to set up the gift shop, and then we'll come back and finish off the staff rooms. And now I have no idea how they're going to look just yet, but we'll figure that out as we go. First step first is the gift shop. That is a very simple but very straightforward gift shop. We can go ahead and add a few little decorations to this. I'm going to add decorations to this. I'm going to make sure everything is mostly satisfied by, you know, decorating some of the walls and things like that. And then we'll get working on the staff room. All right, I believe everything is happy, and I am also very happy. I think this is looking absolutely fantastic. I don't think this could have turned out any better if I'd tried. Now, clearly this is obviously just a staff area, so there's nothing really of interest there. You would never see that unless you were looking at it at an isometric view like we are, so I'm not going to worry too much about getting that all decorated out. Our guests, our staff really aren't going to care all that much. The last thing left to do is our staff rooms. And realistically, we don't need a lot of things. We need the staff room. The training room isn't required anymore. The analysis room isn't required anymore. The workshop isn't required anymore. The camera room should probably be in there, but I probably won't include it because I think cameras are ugly. The marketing office really isn't necessary. Bathroom, not necessary. Cafeteria, we don't need. Aquarium, we don't need. So yeah, the only thing we actually need is a staff room. The rest is just optional. So I'm thinking we might go ahead and make the staff room on, well, that's got a corner that is going to be hard to work with. We could make it, no, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. We'll get it in here. So we can go ahead and do that as a staff room. This is just going to be walkway. And I think that will be perfectly acceptable so that we can throw the door down there. Make sure that we have a bandage box in here somewhere. And what else do we require? We are required to have a couch. That is correct. We'll get a couch in there and then we can accept it so that we can actually build this while we're looking at what it will actually look like. And then for this, I thought we could potentially just cut this building down a little bit. So we'll have all the way, I like the entrance, so I don't want to mess with that. But I was thinking we might just do something like so and have like a little garden or something in here. Now, clearly this part isn't strictly necessary. This is the only section we need for these, but I want it in there just because I think it looks good to have this as the entryway. Maybe we could make this a bathroom, or maybe we could make it a marketing room. Maybe we do keep the marketing room. I think that is maybe the play here. So we'll edit this back out and bring that all the way out to there, and that can be our marketing room in here. So that will be marketing office. Now, clearly this doesn't need to be quite that big. This is 10, so if we just go to 5, again, this is still far too large for a marketing room, but you know, it is what it is. Let's just throw down all of the things that it actually requires. Go ahead and I'm going to build this first and then just copy it over because they are going to be identical. So I'll get these both decorated out and then I think the museum is pretty much done. We just need to clean up some of the other buildings that we have lying around and we should be good to go. So bear with me. We'll jump into a final time lapse here as I get these edited out and I'll see you in a little bit. And with that, I think our museum is done. Now, we don't have a helipad. Again, we don't need one because we've got all the things. Our museum is complete and we still have $1 million in the bank. So that is absolutely fantastic. I am going to fast forward the game here, let it run for a little bit, make sure everything is working as intended. We do need to start some marketing campaigns. So I'm going to do botany, repeat, elaborate, and I'm going to do supernatural, elaborate, repeat in both of those. That should be fine. This is just going to stay how it is, but I am going to sell that. You kind of undo, that's fine. We don't need that, even a little bit. And this I'm just going to leave as is. Everyone should make their way into this museum proper. Let's jump into photo mode and take a quick little look around. So we come into the museum, we go ahead and purchase our ticket at the ticket booths right front and center. Absolutely fantastic. We come in, we can either go left and start exploring our exhibits, or we can go right, check out the gift shop and go out that way. For our sake, we are going to end up going left. I love this little greeting at the start of our museum as well. I think that is absolutely perfect. We come through this room here with all of our ghost busting equipment, just so that you know you're safe as you're wandering around this museum. Then we see this massive room filled with a ton of different ghosts. A very, very cool entrance to our museum proper. Then we come through, you can give it, try your hand, can't speak, try your hand at ghost busting if you want to. You can have a quick little toilet break. You can have a quick little meal break if you want, before you head straight on out to our courtyard area with all of our different supernatural themed botany exhibits. Then once you're finished out there, you can come in here, you can try out the sound stage if you want. You can pop to the right to go to the bathroom, or you can take a look on the left at all of our different ghost exhibits. On the way there though, you should probably stop at the Seance Simulator to check that out before you continue on checking out some more of our ghosts. These ones separated nicely into different rooms. Then you can head through here with the rest of our exhibits, and that pretty much brings you to the end of our museum tour. You head through the gift shop, buy anything you might like, and head straight back on out. Now, if you wanted to, you could do another loop, but if you don't, you can head straight back out where you came in and call it there. I hope you guys have enjoyed this series as much as I have. We may come back in the future to do this exact same thing with other of the museum types that are in the game, but for right now, I am a little bit burnt out on Moonlight Museum and on 2 Point Museum. Fantastic game, but the way that I like to play it is honestly a little bit grindy. And that's totally fair, but we have an awesome result at the end. So if you guys have enjoyed this series, if you have enjoyed this gameplay, please do let me know with a comment down below for the sake of engagement. Consider giving a like to the video if you did like it, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you're excited about our next series on Rimworld and you want to be a part of that series, make sure to become a Golden Panda member so you can be a part of that colony with your name in the game. But until next time, happy building, happy curating. Bye guys.